Hello, hello, hello. Ah, mm, Let me feel into this for just a minute. Just making space for the perfect words that want to come through. I just wanted to jump on and have a conversation about some collective energy that I've been tuning into, some opportunities for personal integration, healing, and the theme of the sacred union between masculine and feminine. This energy's been swirling around, slowly increasing, the invitation getting louder and louder since probably the beginning of the year, with opportunities to connect with ourselves and with others, coming into harmony, into union from a place of separation, of pain, of fear, through presence, loving awareness, radical acceptance. And these last couple weeks have been really heightened. Even this last week was probably, for me personally, what I tuned into was the most visceral experience and response and invitation to continue to repair, rebond, and build secure patterning within myself and with those that I care about. And it all points to the sacred union between masculine and feminine. So I wanted to just jump on real quick and just give some ideas on working with this energy within your own world. Often we can get stuck trying to control our outside world when these kind of opportunities come around, and the only thing I can control is my world and how I respond, how I can give myself what I need. So I always love to take what's coming from my outside world, what's coming up in my inside world, and then I work on my inside world, and then eventually it goes back out to my outer world. It's a beautiful unfolding and dance in oneness and individuality. I call it the totality of duality, where we are one and we are individual. So when working with some of this energy that might be coming through you, opportunities in relationship repair, dynamics, healing, whatever's been alive for you, checking in to see what it means for your feminine and your masculine energies, as well as inner child, but I really want to focus on masculine and feminine right now. That's the union that's been really coming up, because when those parts within ourselves unite, that's when the inner child feels safe to come alive. And so we have been coming together. So one really important thing here is, if you've been feeling a lot of inner child wounds come to the surface to really be felt and seen and healed, repaired, you haven't taken a step back. You've actually come more into union, right? Thinking about masculine and feminine in the form of father and mother. Those parental figures, those caregivers, when they're in union and harmonious and feel safe and are there for the child, the child expresses itself, wounds and all the emotions. It goes to the parents for what it needs. It goes to the caregivers for what it needs. So sometimes we can get hard on ourselves when these things surface, when we're like, I thought I've dealt with that, right? Why do I have to feel this again? Just a reminder that it could be the fact that you are coming into union, that you are a safe space for your inner parts to come speak to you, that it shows and points to the work that you have done. So celebrate that. You're not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. You're growing and you're expanding your capacity to be with all of creation. We love the world by loving ourselves. So back to the masculine and feminine. As mentioned, it can be represented in creation in mother-father energy, right? In gender and genderless forms. And other ways to look at this energy, right? It might play out in your relationships. You can start to see that you're working with these energies in different relationship patterns and what someone's embodying, right? Again, genderless and in gender. It shows up in all, right? So really watching the energies it plays and what you're at. So to go start to bring it into the inner world and the inner workings of masculine and feminine in the genderless form, emotions, feminine, mind, knowledge, words, masculine. Okay. The infinite possibilities, formlessness, nothingness, everythingness, consciousness, masculine. Father energy, Father God. In form, body, feminine, creation, birthed into form, the goddess, right? Mother, father, feminine, masculine. Mind, body, mind, emotions, spirit, body, union. It's all about union and harmony, that they both have a place in creation, right? When the two come together, a child is born. An idea is born. A thought becomes reality through sacred union. So with that perspective, you can start to see what your own inner world is saying to you based on your own outer world. Work with taking in what's being brought to your awareness and presence from the outer world, what's coming up within your inner world, and meeting your needs. The feminine has been really loud, wanting to be heard and supported by the masculine. An example of this for me personally was I was really feeling sacred rage from the feminine of being suppressed and abandoned by masculine energy. Meaning, for me, I was very strong in the mind. I was like a floating head for quite a while. I was a scientist in the corporate world. Just everything was very knowledge-based, and I had shut off everything else. My feminine didn't feel safe. I didn't feel safe to be in my body. I didn't feel safe to express anything. So as I've gotten more into my body and allowed my feminine to come back online, she's been really loud, but she's also been kind of upset about not being supported by the masculine, the mind. They've been doing this dance of polarizing between who's running the show instead of coming into sacred union and agreeing and aligning. Another example for me recently in this week was, a lot of that rage was about the feminine just giving and pouring and having just such an empty cup and not receiving back what was coming out. No matter how the emotions came out and articulated in the most loving way, the masculine didn't feel safe with the potency of the emotions. Now I saw that first glimmer with my own partnerships. Like, whoa, my feminine's being shut down. It's being bypassed. It's being diverted and being redirected over here. And it felt minimized and invalidated, and was sick of continuing to try to show up and not be received while also giving so lovingly. There was just some anger there. And as I sat with it after letting it come up through an experience with my husband, honoring it, letting myself feel, that was the number one thing. My feminine's like, I deserve space too. So I let that feel, and I asked my own masculine, my mind, to be present and listen. But what my feminine was even more upset about was saying that she needed more than just listening, active engagement. And eventually I got to the root of my feminine. My emotions didn't feel safe being seen, and always felt I had to isolate. And it was a burden that I carried. Like, it's like no one understood me. No one had the capacity to handle my bigness. No one could love this bigness, right? A lot of blame, guilt and shame. This is shilty. All that was surfacing, and really I needed to go feel it. But I was able to be present with it this time and actually feel the pain and the emotion in my body that started in my creative center, and move it up to my heart, and actually let it move through and out of me. My masculine chose to stay present with the emotion, with the feminine. And felt safe doing so. So my union was there, and then more surfaced. And then it surfaced to a place of where all of a sudden I'd reached a limit and it didn't feel safe anymore. And a new experience came about with my husband where I was able to really feel and get to abandonment wounds. Ultimately, it came to abandonment wounds. If I feel this and I show this, will I lose those that I care about because I'm too big? Because in the past I was too big, too emotional, too whatever for my caregivers' emotional capacity, that they left. So of course I had fear. My feminine had fear. And then my feminine was also angry about the masculine not having the capacity. But what was the turning point for me was realizing that I had embodied my own abandonment wound. When my big emotions came up, and they were going to be seen by others, I could see them myself. I was great. Go cocoon, I got this, I can hold myself. That's exhausting. And my expansion opportunity was to go be held by others, especially those that I care about that are in my immediate circle, my family. I need my family, my home base to be safe and trust. So it was the growth opportunity to work outside of me. Now that I worked on my inner world, I need to be able to fractal that out to my outer world. But I didn't realize I still carried that fear of abandonment. So I wouldn't show my husband my big emotions, especially when they were triggered by something he was mirroring to me, or something that he did because of his own emotions, his own wounding, whatever it is, right? Not personal, still hurts. So when I stripped it all down, let myself be angry, witnessed myself, cocooned, honored my fight or flight, held myself, I found out that my masculine had been abandoning my feminine. My mind would shut off and leave when my feminine got too loud, especially anger, and was trying to articulate it to someone in a loving way. I was abandoning myself. So I would end up dysregulated because my cognitive left. And I wasn't able to stay grounded and rooted in articulating my emotions in a way that could be heard and seen. So I sat with that. So my opportunity for integration with myself was to call myself out and my mind and say, listen, I need you to show up for me. I need you to stay present with me when I have big emotions. I need you to pause with me. I also need you to remind me to pause and then help me articulate. That's masculine. The masculine listens to the emotions. The mind listens to the emotions, lets them be heard internally, and helps articulate with loving assertion and consciousness what's present. Knowing when to pause, breathe, respond. And in the past, it always left. I'd be reactive. So I shut it down because my masculine didn't feel safe with my feminine, and my feminine didn't feel safe with my masculine. It was all in here. Self-abandonment, self-betrayal, playing out all those wounds. But when I finally allowed myself to come together and asked my masculine for support, and my masculine asked my feminine for support too, sometimes it was overwhelming for my masculine. The nervous system got overloaded. My feminine did have to honor that and say, yeah, let's go regulate. You need peace. I hear you, masculine. You need peace within that peace and space. When we feel safe again, can you hear me out? Yes. Regulate first. And then relate. Then repair. Thank you, Beck, for sharing this recent tool with me. I love when I'm going through something and I'm like, I can feel I'm ready for another tool and another layer. It comes in. And it came in through this beautiful radiant circle and someone sharing another layer where I'd been really working with regulating the nervous system. And then another tool was kind of given to me of like how to support the mind and where it's at developmentally, and maybe where some of the repair and the support needs to be to make sure I'm not bypassing my own emotions, right? Anytime I don't honor my nervous system, or the fact that I'm dysregulated or in a fight or flight and my nervous system needs support, I'm bypassing my own emotions. I'm bypassing my own authentic expression. So again, my masculine and my feminine had some work to do because we got deeper, we got more connected. Inner child came up, said, I've got more to show you. Now you're listening. And growth opportunity as a family dynamic. Inner world. This is what I love to do. Because it all fractals, right? Inner, outer, as within, so without, as above, so below. And ultimately, it did point to distrust. Deep pain and distrust of masculine energy, of the unknown, God, source, Father, and feeling abandoned by it in times of need and despair. And not being able to trust that the universe has my back. Because when certain things came up, it's like it disappeared, right? So all rooted in childhood abandonment, and also feeling, maybe feeling abandoned by the universe itself, by God itself, by source itself, right? And so big, deep stuff. Oh my gosh, it's so deep, and it's like, woo, I just have been going in and out, in and out, in and out. So I just wanted to kind of jump on one, to just give myself space and be me and be seen and be heard, because this is me. So if you want to talk about this kind of stuff with me, this is where I go, right? We get curious and we go take the outer world and then we go to the inner world, or we go to the inner world and see what it's saying about the outer world, vice versa. And we dance and we harmonize, and we come into union and we honor the totality of duality. And reminding us that, sometimes these collective waves come through. Too clear abandonment, too clear guilt, shame, blame, judgment, fear. But it feels very personal. So as I work with others, I start to see a theme. I'm like, oh yeah, okay. I know what energy we're working with. Because I've been there, I've been feeling it too. I tap into the collective energy and I see that we've been, really the feminine's been feeling, and masculine too, both have been feeling, right? This is where it's like you can come back into union when it's like, oh, we're processing the same thing. We've been feeling invalidated, minimized, misused, abused, abandoned, judged, blamed, shame, not enough, right? The feminine has needs and wants more. The masculine feels like it can never provide. Or the feminine's like, I give and I give it, it's still not enough because I don't believe I'm enough and I have to give in order to receive. Right? All of these stories are playing constantly, but then it's like getting to the real root and feeling it in the body and then moving it through you, which alchemizes, not only for you personally, but collectively. So if you are feeling any of this, and you're able to be present with it and bring loving awareness and participate in the unfolding, no matter which part you play, villain or victim. If you can come into union and repair, you're repairing for the world. And so I'm grateful. So know that you're seen, you're heard, you're received, you're so valued and appreciated. That what you do when you do go explore your own inner world and you be present and you create new patterns, you repair within yourself and you embody more love, the whole world benefits, whether we're aware or not. So keep doing you, showing up, because it's perfect. In the collective unfolding, it's absolutely perfect. And if you want to talk deeper on integration or anything that I might have said that pinged you, you know where to find me.